Marie just text messaged me. Hey guys, so you guys know I think a lot about communicating with my dog, and I kind of came up with this thing pretty recently and I thought it was very interesting, so I rushed this video out so that I could show you how to do it, and because I think a lot of people could potentially find this useful and maybe even life-saving. So if you've seen a lot of my videos, maybe you've seen the bell ringing video where I show you how to teach your dog ring a bell to go outside. This technique or this behavior or this group of behaviors I think are very interesting, in particular because your dog is telling you to do something and it is specifically giving you some discrete information about what it wants that you can identify. It's telling you it needs to go outside. Once you start doing that, you might start noticing other behaviors. For instance, Marie will hit her bowl when she wants food, or hit her water bowl when she wants water. Some people might say that that's bratty, and maybe it is, but I see it as an opportunity to reinforce the idea, at least for Marie, that if she does certain things, I will respond with certain behaviors. I can use that to my advantage and potentially have her send me messages about my apartment when I'm not in my apartment. Maybe something's happening in my apartment. Maybe something's happening to someone in my apartment. Let's say you have a disability or you have something happen to you. Maybe you have epileptic seizures. Maybe you're prone to fainting. Maybe you fall over. Maybe you're prone to falling over. Maybe you have a heart attack. Maybe something just makes your dog anxious. You can get your dog, when you exhibit those behaviors, to press a button. And if you get that button to be connected to something that can send you a text message, well, suddenly you have a way to make emergency message that could potentially call in on you and check on you, or call the authorities, or come down and see if everything's okay. If you don't have any of these problems, you could still use this same technique to have your dog send you funny texts or statuses of different things in your apartment. And I will show you how. It's actually not as hard as it sounds. It's actually pretty easy, and it doesn't likely require too many things that you don't have. How do you do it? Well, all you're gonna need is this echo button and this echo dot. This thing is a Bluetooth device. I'm gonna press this button, send the signal to this Amazon Echo Dot, and Echo Dot can do a routine dependent on what you set it to. Okay, so to make these things work together, you go into the Amazon app, you add the Echo button, you go to routines, and you look for your Echo button, and you set up a routine. So when button is pressed, send message to user. This is great. Try this out, test your button, send a message to you saying button works. Great, button's working. So that's semi-useful, right? Whenever you press this button, you get a message. The problem with that is you can't send a message to somebody else. That is the useful part. Sending a message to yourself, sort of a parlor trick, and if there was an emergency and you wanted to send a message to your friend or your parents or your children, that is not going to work. And it's actually very frustrating because I tried for a while to find an app that the routines would work with, that I could send an email out, but I couldn't. So I had to make some software, which I'll share with you guys, that allows me to connect my computer to my Echo Dot, which then sends templated email to however many people I want, including their cell phones. So how do we get your dog to press this thing? Well, that's easy. If you saw my bell training video, you'll know that all you really need to do is bait this button. So you bait this button and you have a mock situation where two people are in the room. One person directs the dog to press the button when a specific event occurs in the room. In my scenario, which I thought would be the easiest, is Marie actually gets sort of anxious when we leave, and I kind of wanted her to press the button whenever she wants us to come back home. And I feel that that's probably going to connect to whenever she's anxious about something going on in the apartment. I don't know yet, but we'll see. You can do this with like fire, or you could do this with like maybe you fall down and then your dog presses the button, or anything you can think of really. But I'm gonna do it when I leave the house and she feels anxious. So I leave the house, she feels anxious, and then Alyssa directs her to press the button. She presses the button and I show up again. I get the text message, obviously. I walk back in, she sees that it's good. We repeat the behavior. Do this over and over and over again until she gets it. Then after that, whenever we don't want this to happen, we take down the button. But as long as we do, we put the button up and allow her to press it. Great, now once she's pressing a button, now the next thing we need to do is connect it to a set of cell phones. We're gonna need two things. You need an email. So I made an email account for Marie on Outlook.com. It's very easy. All you need to do is go on there and set some information for your dog. How old it is, put your age, unless you're really young. Over 18, you use that age, and set up an email account. Go through all the confirmation emails necessary, or else it won't let you send an email through Outlook until you've confirmed your account. And then after you do that, go to my webpage, download my server puppy text program, which allows you to send text messages through your button, and set the settings for the SMTP server to the settings that Microsoft says Outlook's SMTP server is. Copy paste that and set your user information. Set who you want to send the email to. So if you want to send a text message, you need to know the carrier of the person you're trying to send a text message to. And I'll put a list of the carriers on my website where you can get the carrier and then add their phone number to the front of it, and it sends this to their cell phone, and then send the pre-formatted text message. So in my case, I sent "I miss you, master," and then the top "This is Marie" as the subject heading. So set that up, send the text message, make sure you get the response from the cell phones that you're looking for, and you get your text message, you get your emails, everything's good to go, everything's set. Go to your Amazon Echo app, add the device, which is Puppy Texter, and add it to your routines for the button, and you're all set. Now everything's gonna work. You can do a test run by pressing the button, see if you get a text, and if you get a text, now you're good to go. We set it up at nose height where the dog can get to it, and test it out. All right, once we tested it out, now we have our dog able to send us text messages when we're not home and something's happening in the apartment. And hopefully you found this very, very useful, and maybe I'm hoping that someone will have been saved by this, or at least someone will have had a good laugh at a party or family get together when their dog sent them a text message. If you like our content, like this video, subscribe to the channel. There's a little puppy, I think, right here in this corner, and you could click on that puppy, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment. Found this super useful. If you're gonna try it, leave us a comment. If you don't like it, leave us a comment, see how that goes. So I will see you next week. Till then, goodbye.